Alex Smith, welcome to the District of Chaos. Yes, Smith, shipped to D.C., signed, sealed, delivered. He's ours now. By the way, 50 Shades is in the building tonight. This should be a fun show. I get the phones ringing already. And there's food. Pat Malone, shout out to you. It's Toyota Sports Talk.
Live from Newschannel 8, this is Toyota Sports Talk.
They paid a lot for Alex Smith, but at the end of the day, I think you're getting the same quarterback minus the interceptions. And I think the big upside to this is you got the ultimate stopgap quarterback with this guy.
One part I don't like about it is giving up Kendall Fuller.
Well, Kansas City robbed the bank without a mask on that one. They getting to me, would develop into a Pro Bowl player.
According to Fred Smoot, robbed with no mask on and a rusty revolver. That was former Redskin Fred Smoot, Lil Smooty Smoot. In a trade, the Redskins got Alex Smith, of course. They paid a grip, though. Kansas City got cornerback Kendall Fuller and a third-round pick. So, as we do every night, we're taking your calls on this. Our question of the night, how do you think the Redskins made out? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Call us, 703-387-1020. Operators are standing by. 50 Shades in the building tonight. Yes, sir.
Wearing my purple this evening.
I was going to say something.
It's unity, you know?
Yeah.
Where the red states and the blue states meet.
Purple for the people,
we're dealing
right?
with the state of the burgundy and gold.
I love it.
I represent peace.
I love it. Look, man, so Kansas City, they get Kendall Fuller, an up-and-coming star, local kid, played here, DMV born and bred, Pro Bowler possibly. He's gone now. And a third-round pick. We get Kirk Cousins, the equal or greater than Kirk Cousins. How were you feeling? When you saw this, what was your reaction?
I was shocked because the story breaks somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 o'clock, and that means I don't get to bed until 5 a.m., so I'm worn out. That being said, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
It was a divorce that was imminent. Okay, and those of you who haven't been through that unfortunate time in your life don't know. When it's over, it's over. This relationship had happened.
It's done.
Kirk didn't feel good because the team would not massage his shoulders and make his ego feel well. If you check my podcast out on theshadowleague.com, I talked to Doug Williams and I asked him on the podcast this week, which is posted now on a computer near you, about, playing under the pressure of not having a long-term deal. And basically what a Super Bowl MVP said was, you're a pro, you got to handle it. I think that's where Kirk came up short and lost a little credibility. Kendall Fuller has potential to be an all-pro. Potential. Makes legends, gets coaches fired too. We don't know, okay? So let's pump the brakes. This ain't Deion Sanders yet. This ain't somebody that you can just give a side of the field and say, it's on lock yet. He's good. This notion that, people have been saying, okay, he was the team's best player or second best player on defense. Yeah. Was he really? And what is that saying for a defensive unit that played like they did and had meltdowns, particularly against the New Orleans Saints?
Well, I think this was going off of upside. This was all off of upside, what he could have been to the team, what he could have been to the organization, and to put a cherry on top, he's from here. Well, he's from here, VTech. They didn't want to see him go. He was going to be great. So it hurts even more.
Well, sometimes you got to take a bruise, put some ice on it, and keep it moving.
Well, icy hot.
Yeah, this isn't a devastating blow. Look, the organization screwed up 3 years ago when they had the chance to make an economic long-term investment in a quarterback that was solid. I think after the body of work now, we know Kirk Cousins is not a superstar.
Right.
He's a solid quarterback. A little bit better than a game manager, but not necessarily that dude. And when I'm talking about that dude, I'm talking about, the Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees types.
But the elite.
But if you look at 3 of the final 4 quarterbacks that were playing in this year's conference championship games, they were effective game managers who didn't do stuff that cost you.
Right.
How many times did Kirk make bad decisions that cost him in critical situations? Now, look, I don't want to sound like I'm piling on and I'm throwing him under the bus. You can do a lot worse than Kirk Cousins. If Kirk Cousins has a better defense in, say, Denver or with the Jets or perhaps Arizona, then maybe, just maybe, we're having a different conversation at this time next year. But Kirk Cousins, I don't know if he's necessarily a difference maker unless the team is already built around him. You could not give him 11% of the salary cap, which is what he was going to cost you in transition, and expect to get yourself another defensive end that's going to give you some pass rush.
And according
a tackle to protect his blind side.
And according to Scott McCloughan, Kirk Cousins wasn't special. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Eddie is in Temple Hills. Eddie, what's up?
Hey, Mark, you just made my point there.
Bang!
But what I want to say is I thought we would not be hard to find an administration worse than the Trump administration. It looked like, Lord, behold, the Redskins have done it again. But with all of that being said, what I believe the Redskins should have done, I don't have a problem with the marriage bearing over with Kirk. What I think they should have done is went with Colt McCoy, used that $90 million to sign, as you said, Mark, a defensive end, a guard, and possibly a shutdown corner. I mean, that money could have been well spent many different ways. You didn't have to pay Kirk Cousins. He's not the guy. I'll go with that. But, I mean, give McCoy a shot. With McCoy, you might have won 5 or 6 ball games. You're in a win-win situation. You lose 5 or 6, you win 5 or 6 ball games, you're in the top 5 in draft choice.
Eddie, thanks for calling, by the way.
But for a team that's coming off of a season where you had like 21 players on injured reserve, Colt McCoy had never really proven that he could stay healthy, and that's the big beef with him. Is his body built for a 16-game schedule in the NFC East? I'm not quite sure it is, and that was the dilemma that they faced. Skill set, ability to make plays, leader of men, yeah, he's got all that kind of stuff. But you start talking about Colt McCoy, what are you going to do at the backup position if he's your starter? Bank on Nate Sudfeld to come in and be Nick Foles? I think not.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines. It's someone who never calls my show, or hasn't called in a while. Spencer, he's no longer Spencer from Oxon Hill. I think he's Spencer from Waldorf.
Spencer for hire?
Spencer.
You got it right, and that part is wrong. So, I'm so glad this guy is gone. I don't know why the Redskins were dragging their heels. I mean, look, Alex Smith is a better quarterback. I was mentioning that he's one of the many that you should have had on this team.
Of course you're going to say that, Spence. You never liked Kirk Cousins.
He's not going to be the long-term guy forever. He's just a guy you want to get in here to stop the bleeding because the Redskins are busted up, and they need a guy who's smart, who can lead you down the field and get scores. They don't need a guy who's going to just get 4,000 yards, because that's all you can look at. Alex Smith got that too. But he's been in the playoffs. And they need a coach. That's
all right.
The next one we're going for.
Hey, Spence, thanks for calling. We got to go to break. Spence called me for the first time in a long time. We come back more with 50 Shades. We're taking more of your calls. Kirk Cousins, gone. Alex Smith here. How do you like it? Call us, 703-387-1020.
Fifth Avenue. Minneapolis.
Hey! Hey! Sound like Bruno Mars. Well. Shining. Speaking of diamonds, Mark Gray, 50 Shades in the building. Round of applause. Let's go straight to the phone lines because you guys want to talk about this. Alex Smith here in the District of Chaos now.
Welcome, Alex.
Paul is in Hyattsville. Paul, what's up?
All right. I just want to say I don't think nothing's going to change. Alex Smith, Redskins, they need to work on their offensive line. As you noticed, nobody worried about their running game. Teams didn't worry about their running game or the passing game this year. They need to work on the coaches, offensive coaches, quarterback coaches, running back coaches. I mean, they need to clean house the same way the Cowboys did.
And
Get
Paul,
some better coaches in there.
And Paul, thanks for calling. You might want to turn your TV down next time. Here's my thing. Everybody wants to talk about, well, they need to work on the line, they need to work the receivers, the run game. You got to get your quarterback straight first.
Well, they got the quarterback straight, but
they didn't before, though.
Here's the deal. Now, this is the interesting juxtaposition because Alex Smith has always had a running back, whether it was Sharkhandrick West,
Mr.
whether
Charles.
it was
Mr.
Jamal Charles,
yes,
the rookie Kareem Hunt this year. You know, he's always had a running game. The question is, who's going to be the dynamic running back that this team has? I tell you what, if Sony Michel is there with pick number 13, get him.
So Fat Rob is out. That's out.
We've seen that act. He's serviceable at best. Okay, he is to the running back position what Kirk Cousins and Alex Smith are to the quarterback position. And you don't game manage with a running back.
Yeah.
We saw the difference that a guy like Kamara can make in New Orleans. Get yourself a running back, control the line of scrimmage, play physical. Those are the right. Look at what Leonard Fournette did for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Dude is a monster.
Look at what Dalvin Cook was doing before he got hurt with the Minnesota Vikings. The running back renaissance has begun in the NFL. You need one. Washington needs one. Saquon Barkley probably ain't going to be there. Get Sony Michel. To me, he's the second best running back in the draft.
All right, Mike is in D.C. Mike, what's up?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. But if we go at running back, who are we going to stop the run from the other team?
That's what your free agent money for that you saved by not re-signing Kirk Cousins.
Boom, there.
And when you reduce that 11% of your salary cap to 6 or 7%, it becomes critical for you to identify free agent opportunities, and that's the direction that you go, or you find your scouts got to be on point.
Well, isn't it best to build defense?
Well, you need some help there, but that defense is not that far.
To go through the draft and build the defense and keep on buying free agents to come in.
But
a lot of them that came in and robbed us and everything else and gone.
Mike, with all due respect, they addressed the defense last year. It's just unfortunate that Ryan Anderson and Jonathan Allen
was
both
out
got
for
hurt.
the season.
When they were out there, they balled out. And let's talk about Zach Brown, the linebacker. He played well. And I think
but Zach Brown only signed a 1-year contract. Is he coming back this year?
Well, he can now.
Right.
He can now.
You can make a reasonable pitch for him.
But still, we still need more tackles on that line.
And you got money to go after him. That's the point.
And Mike, thanks for calling, man. Let's move on to Levi and Alexandria. My hood. What's up, man?
Yeah, what I don't understand is our quarterback was excellent. I thought you had receivers every time on third down. They never could catch the ball.
Well,
and then it was dropped continuously the whole year. I've been with the Redskins for 25 years. The only time we ever had anybody that could do anything was Bedford.
Well, let's be clear, Levi.
No one could bring people together. And defense, you need defense. You need offense.
Well, of course, the decision from the Redskins wasn't based solely on Kirk Cousins being a bad quarterback. That's not what it was. This goes on Kirk too a little bit because Kirk wanted to be in a place where, one, he was wanted 100%. He didn't feel that way. He wanted the best possible contract situation ever. He didn't feel he was going to get that situation. So I think what the Redskins did, they said, hey, why don't we just move on from this? This isn't going to happen.
In all fairness, Kirk and his representatives, 3 years ago, they gave the team a chance to sign him 3 years, $60 million, I think the number was.
Yeah.
And they chose not to do it. He rolled the dice. He balled out. He wants what the market will bear. We see that. The organization said, look, we're not going to do what Baltimore did with Joe Flacco after he won the Super Bowl, paying him superstar franchise money, and him proving to be just an ordinary Joe. So there's culpability on both sides. It was an opportunity to move on. They did it. They made the best of a situation that was bad. Remember, you can find a quarterback in the later rounds, maybe groom him. I still think offensively, from a skill player standpoint, free agent wide receiver, I'm a big fan of Jarvis Landry. I'm a big fan of drafting a running back, particularly if you can get a Sony Michel type.
Right.
This
is a perfect world too, by the way.
Right.
This isn't a perfect world.
Right. Then, and it's incumbent upon the front office right now. Front office is clearly on blast. You know, hey guys, you got to step up, spend the money that's there frugally, draft somebody who's special, and let's see if you can finally put together the team the way that they were constructed back in the late 80s and early 90s when they were a model of consistency.
And you know what you call those days? You
Glory
call them
days.
glory days. You call them glory days. Shout out to Pat Malone in the back. Look,
Glory days in the back.
Are you hungry?
Absolutely.
We got sliders back there. We got wings. We got bottles of water. Probably nobody cares about that. There they go.
There.
Look at that. Look at that.
Glory
Is that
days.
mac and cheese? Look at Pat. Look at Pat.
Wasn't that Bruce Springsteen? Glory days.
I don't know.
Bruce?
I don't go back that far.
Oh,